I married Daniel 6 years ago, believing I was finally stepping into a life of certainty. He was older, financially secure, and seemed to carry the kind of calm I thought would keep me grounded. For a while, it felt like safety. But over time, that security turned into monotony. Our days blurred into schedules and reminders. Conversations became short exchanges about bills, errands, or whose turn it was to buy groceries. The warmth I once felt for him faded quietly into routine. I told myself this was normal. That love changes with time, that passion isn't meant to last forever, that being comfortable together should be enough. Then Leo moved in. Leo, Daniel's son from his first marriage, had recently gone through a brutal breakup and needed a place to stay while he sorted his life out. He was polite, reserved, and careful around me in the beginning. I thought of him only as my Stepson, another part of Daniel's life that I had accepted when we married. But something about him started to stand out. He had this presence that filled a room without trying. He carried himself with a kind of quiet confidence, yet I could see the hurt behind his eyes. He'd been abandoned and betrayed, and I recognized that pain because I lived with my own version of it. It started with tiny things. He'd help me carry in the groceries when Daniel was too busy to notice. He'd compliment dinner and actually ask how I made it. He'd listen when I talked, really listen, and it stunned me how much that meant. Daniel rarely did anymore. I tried to ignore it, to tell myself I was imagining things, but there were moments when I caught Leo looking at me, his eyes lingering a little too long. One evening Daniel was away on a week-long business trip. I was clearing dishes when Leo stepped into the kitchen, sleeves rolled to his elbows. "Let me help," he said, his tone soft but steady. "You don't have to," I replied. "I want to," he said, and his arm brushed mine as he reached for a plate. A spark shot through me, sharp and immediate. I should have stepped back, made a joke, anything to cut the tension. But I didn't. I turned toward him, and for a long, quiet moment neither of us moved. The air was thick, and his eyes searched mine like he was waiting for me to tell him it was okay. I forced myself to smile, to pretend I felt nothing. "I should get some sleep," I whispered, stepping away. "Yeah," he said, though his gaze stayed on me as I left. My heartbeat refused to slow down. That night the storm rolled in hard, wind and rain lashing the windows. I sat curled on the couch with a blanket and a glass of wine, trying to focus on a book I wasn't really reading. The power flickered, then went out, plunging the house into candlelight. I didn't hear Leo approach until he was already there, sitting across from me. His hair was damp, a blanket draped loosely over his shoulders. "Looks like we're stuck like this," he said, his voice low in the dim light. I laughed softly. "Romantic," I teased before I could stop myself. He didn't smile. "You seem different lately," he said instead. My chest tightened. "What do you mean?" "You just seem unhappy." He leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "You don't have to fake it with me." The words pierced something in me. I had been faking it, pretending I was fine, that Daniel and I were fine, that I didn't take for something more. And here was Leo, seeing through it with almost painful clarity. "It's complicated," I finally managed. "You deserve more," he said gently. The air between us shifted again, heavier now. His hand reached for mine, a small, tentative touch that sent a tremor through me. I should have pulled away. Instead, my fingers closed around his. He leaned in slowly, his face so close I could feel his breath. "Tell me to stop," he whispered. But I couldn't. His lips brushed mine, hesitant at first, then deeper, and I let myself fall into it. His hands gripped my waist, and for the first time in years I felt completely alive. Then reality struck like ice water. I pulled away abruptly, breathless. "I can't," I said, voice breaking. "I understand," he murmured, but the look in his eyes said he didn't want to. The next morning I avoided him, busying myself with chores I didn't need to do. Every time I passed him in the hallway, I felt the weight of what had happened. I told myself it was a mistake, that I'd lock it away and move on. But deep down, I knew I didn't want to. By midday, I was rinsing dishes when I felt him behind me. "Are we just going to act like nothing happened?" he asked quietly. "It shouldn't have," I said, turning to face him. "I don't regret it," he said, stepping closer. My heart pounded as his fingers skimmed up my arm. I didn't stop him. When he kissed me this time, there was no hesitation, no pretending. I melted into him completely. The weeks that followed blurred into secret touches in the hallway, whispered words after Daniel fell asleep, stolen nights we both knew couldn't last. I told myself we were careful. But Daniel started to notice. His glances lingered too long. His questions carried an edge. Then one evening he came home early. Leo and I were in the kitchen, standing too close, our hands brushing as I handed him a glass. It was nothing, just a second too long, but when I turned, Daniel was standing there. He said nothing at first. His eyes moved between us, and I knew he'd pieced it together. "How long?" he asked, his voice dangerously calm. There was no lie that would save us. The truth was written all over my face. He shook his head slowly. "I should have seen it. The way you look at each other," his voice cracked. "I just didn't want to believe it." Daniel packed his things in silence over the next few days. Leo left soon after, saying it was better for both of us.